This this is it. This is the 45th hour of my life without playing Roblox. I do not know what's real. I can no longer tell right from wrong. My moral compass has left me in its entirety. I don't know if I need food anymore. Everything I see, touch, feel, smell, all reminds me of Roblox. I saw a man eating a cheeseburger, and I instantly reminded myself of the cheeseburger gear on Roblox. I saw a man hold someone at knife point, and all I saw was Murder Mystery 2. It's gotten so bad to the point where I need to ask the strangers I see if what they're doing is really a Roblox reference or not. The man with the knife I was talking about earlier, I stopped the robbery midway through and I asked him, "How many chromas do you have?" He seemed to be incredibly dazed and did not know and it did not seem to have a single clue as to what I was talking about. A few seconds passed and I asked him again, "How many chromas do you own?" Again, he hesitated to answer. I did not feel like dealing with his rather offensive and silent disposition he had towards me. So I revealed myself as the sheriff and shot him 7 times in the chest and 4 times in the head. As his wriggling, nearly lifeless corpse fell over, I asked him one more time, "How many chromas do you own?" This time he uttered his last words, before being ruthlessly dragged to a painful death. I own 3. Finally satisfied with my answer, I nonchalantly walked away from the murder scene. Yet another Murder Mystery 2 reference. Fast forward to now. I'm in my Jeep, the one that has an eerie resemblance to the free model you can use inside of Roblox, and I'm traveling at 60 studs per second to San Mateo, California. Whatever David Bajewski can do now won't save him. I am out only for blood, and no object, no human, no security system is strong enough to stop me from sacrificing him to John Doe to bring back Roblox. This is it. This is the final 70 miles I have to make until I reach the location of David Bajewski. Along the way, I've had several bodyguards of his try to stop me. It had gotten out hours earlier that I was targeting David Bajewski, and that whatever they do, they should make sure I was always more than 100 miles away from him at all times. Well, the guards were given hundreds of miles of hours and hours of time to prepare before I found them. Anything that they tried to use against me was no use. Their beret M82A1s were loaded with 50 cal bullets, ready to stop me in my tracks. 5 of the most skilled snipers in the entire country were set up to take me down. By the time they found my location, I was already, disturbingly, 178 miles away from David Bajewski. All 5 of them lined up their shots. "So, this is the guy?" the first marksman said to the others, via their comm system. "Yep, that's 102% him." The third sniper nervously communicated over the radio. "So, do we fire?" The second sniper said, "Yep, fire," remarked all of them at once. 50 caliber bullets were instantly sent straight to my direction, all traveling at a velocity of over 2,978 feet. By the time the bullets reached my location, my destination, the snipers all made their horrible realization that I was bulletproof. The sheer anger and adrenaline I had built up over Noblox had caused my skin to turn into only the finest Roblox grade metal, with strength not even comprehensible by the universe. Not only did the bullets have no effect on me, but I also absorbed them, only making me stronger. Using my strength of the Force, a strength that I found from Star Wars The Old Republic 2 roleplay, I near instantly shut off the airwaves of all 5 marksmen, and crushed their hearts instantly, with their deaths soon to be forgotten. By then, David had gotten the news of what happened to the snipers. He knew he had no options left but to be constantly in motion. Well, this was his only choice. He also knew too good and well that he would eventually be caught. With his soul being sacrificed to John Doe, I'm closing in. Closer and closer to David Bajewski. I feel powerful, like I'm taking a 2 times coin boost. Bubblegum Simulator 3 reference. My instinct told me I'm only about 7 miles away from David, which fluctuates from 6.8 to 7.6 miles from time to time. I'm no longer in my Jeep, and I'm taking a casual walk to find him. I know David Bajewski is aware I'm close, and as I can smell the raw fear emanating from his body, with the beat of his heart ringing in my own ears, none of the security protocols he hastily implemented worked. The turrets did no damage, nor did it slow me down. The anti-tank mines did nothing to stop me, either. Even the use of anti-plane missiles did not make me bat a single eyelid. Now that I'm only 5.2 miles away from David, I use this time to think about how he'll be sacrificed. Will I make it short and quick, I ponder. No, no. Not for what he's done. He's avoided me all of this time, done everything in his power to stop me, and has even resorted to using government weapons to attempt to slow me down. You know what you need to do, I thought. Almost done, I thought to myself. It was at this moment I instantly devised a plan to sacrifice David Bajuski. It will involve only the most painful and deadly weapons available in this universe. It will start out with spikes. Welcome to Roblox, building reference. Slowly impaling his heart. Then, while his still conscious body wrestles against all signs that he should be dead, I will use the Dragonoth to keep him in a state of psychosis. His body will have no choice but to stay alive, with no way to succumb to death. Using the state of psychosis and temporary immortality, I will use the Venom Shank, Sword Fights at the Heart's 4 reference, to slowly leak all of his energy, will to live, and the soul right out of him. After this, I will finally be able to use a sacred chant. Android, komoklik midmig, yeg behover dig harfor at spilla ikval. Jag behover dig ak din rika ikval. To notify John Doe of his presence. Now that he is in this state, John Doe will be able to deliver the final blow and restore the Roblox servers forever, allowing me to play Brookhaven roleplay with Laser by Raz for as long as I please. In the time it took me to think out this entire plan, I realized that I'm only 1,200 yards away from David Bajuski. All I need to do by now is execute my plan. I see his pathetic 58-year-old body, unable to outrun the 16 steads per second I constantly travel at. He eventually falls and goes into a whimper, with the final words from him before my sacrificial ritual began. Being, we'll get the servers up soon. I promise. His words meant absolutely nothing to me. Oh, sorry. We'll get the servers up soon. I promise. His words meant absolutely nothing to me. I slowly brought out my stamper tool and placed it directly where David was standing, impaling him, and sending a pain that can only be described as having 1,000 heart attacks and 500 migraines all at once. Now, I had David right where I wanted him. David's near lifeless eyes watched in what I can only describe as pure, unadulterated terror as I brought out the Dragonoth, with him knowing too good and well that I did not want to make his sacrifice easy. Before his synapses could even properly react to the eldritch horror of a weapon I seemingly materialized out of nowhere, I set him in the psychosis, allowing him to see horrors that would put any soul to rest in a near instant. Now that the second step of my sacrifice is done, I can continue on with the third step. I now unsheathed the venom shank I had on my being, and slowly stabbed it straight through David Bajuski's skull. I watched in what I could only describe as pure joy, as his body flashed in a pastel green, and back to Caucasian white over and over again. I know now that I am able to proceed with the fourth and final step of my sacrifice, notifying John Doe. I prepared my dry, cracked lips to rehearse the phrase I repeated nearly 7 quadrillion times in my head already, and finally uttered the phrase for what should be the last time. Jade, komoklik, midmich, jag, overdig, harfor, at spelach, ikval, hag overdig ak din strile ikval. I waited for 3 minutes in to what I can only describe as the most silent silence I felt in my life up until this point. Soon enough, I felt his presence behind me. I detected a pale man with an orange tank top, with as dead of a smile as I have ever seen. He knew what he needed to do, and I did not even need to communicate with him what it is that needed to be done. He shredded slowly over to the location of David Brzezinski's mutilated body, and extended his arm out to feel his framework. As soon as he got close, it seemed as if reality itself slowly ceased around David's body. Bit by bit, David's skin slowly turned into antimatter, only to soon disappear, leaving absolutely no trace or byproduct anywhere. A wind slowly picked up around the area, rapidly turning into hurricane-force winds, which then exponentially picked up even more casual gusts that would make an EF5 tornado feel like a regular windy day. The wind seemed to never stop, and eventually got louder and louder to the point where I could barely hear myself think. Suddenly, the wind abruptly stopped. My eyes were sealed shut, most likely as a reaction to the wind I had experienced only minutes before. It took what felt like weeks, but eventually I gained the courage to slowly open my eyes. I realized I was sat in my bed, with my computer close by. I was almost entirely sure of what had happened over the past month, that I was blind. In order to confirm what I knew was true, I slowly rolled out of my bed and walked over to my computer, logged on, opened Chrome, and typed in the dreaded letters. Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure / worldwideweb.roblox.com. That's when I knew it had worked. Roblox's servers were operational again, and I could play Brookhaven roleplay with my friend Lace and my Raz. I had won! David was defeated, and I stood victorious.